Okay, I have a new effect to share with you today. And if you stay to the end, I'll show you how you can use the principles demonstrated here to create your own card effects. Okay, so I have a deck of 52 cards. So let's go ahead and just shuffle the cards. Now for this, we actually only need 8 cards. Okay, just 8 cards. Maybe we'll give it a third riffle shuffle here. Okay, very good. So 8 cards. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe we'll take from different 4, 5, 6 different parts of the deck. 7, 8. Oh, very good. So now with input from you, we're going to mix the cards using 2 very powerful shuffles, or some people call them dealings. The first one is the down under, and the second one is its close cousin, the under down. So let me go ahead and just demonstrate these, and then you're going to tell me how many times to perform each of these. Okay, so the down under, how does that work? Well, you put the top card down, next one goes under, down, under, down, under, down, under, down, under, down, under, last one on top. Okay, and the other one's the under, down. You go under, down, under, down, under, down, under, down, under, down, under, down, the last one on top. Okay, so how many more under downs would you like me to perform? It is a free choice. 3 of them. Okay, you want 3 more? Okay, so 3 more of these. Okay, now note to you as the performer, the spectator can have you do as many of these as they like. Okay, well, as many as you have patience for, or they have patience for, okay? But I just want you to know that it truly is, let's see, that one goes down probably, under, down, last one on top. Truly is a free choice. Was it one more we needed? I think so. Okay, and then how many down unders should I perform? That's a free choice as well. How many down unders? 2. Okay, good. That's not quite as many. It's not as many as 3. So that's good. Down, under, down, under, down. One more, as requested. Okay. Fingers are getting tired here. Okay. Well, where has all of your choices brought us? Given all of the mixing that was very much dictated by you, what card has risen to the top at the very end? Well, let's just take a look. What the heck is going on here? Okay, let's just check the deck here. Let's see, do we have any others lurking here? Do you see any other double back cards? I don't. How in the world did that happen? And how did your choices just happen to land us on this one clearly different card from all of the other cards in this deck? Okay, so how does this work? Now, of course, you don't have to have a double back card like this. This card that's being revealed could be a joker. It could be a blank card. It could be a card that you predict at the beginning, right? Ace of spades or whatever you like. So if you stick around for the tutorial, you'll see that you can have any card there. Okay, so let's quickly talk about this. And this is where I'll give you some ideas for creating your own variations on this effect here. Okay, so here are some important facts about the down under and under down deal that you can use to pull off some pretty surprising magic. So for the down under, and given a packet of 2 to the n, so a power of 2 cards, so 4, 8, 16, 32, and so forth, the top card and the bottom cards switch places. They just bounce back and forth for all eternity. Okay, so if you perform this just once, top card goes to the bottom and the bottom goes to the top. If you perform this an even number of times, the top card, of course, goes to the bottom and then back to the top. Same thing for the bottom. It goes to the top and then back to the bottom. So the top and bottom stay where they are if you perform this an even number of times, 2, 4, 6, 8. Now for the under-down deal, the top card is a fixed point. It goes back to where it started, no matter how many times this is performed. So in this very simple routine, I began with 8 cards. Now, as you might imagine, I had this card at the top. And so I just retained it at the top through as many riffle shuffles as you like, okay? So it's still on the top, okay? And then from there, all I did was I dealt out, supposedly from different, well, I did deal them out from different places, but that first card is kind of controlled. It's the one I want. Not even sure if I have 8. Let me check. So the top card is now at the bottom, okay, which is okay. That's a good place for it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, okay, so I got 1 extra. So 8 cards right there. Okay, so what I did then is I began with the card of interest at the top. I riffle shuffled it, retained it there. I dealt it to the table. It's now at the bottom. Okay, so with the card of interest at the bottom, after dealing out these 8 cards, I demonstrated the down-under shuffle once. So that moves the bottom card to the top. So the card is now at the top after that 1 down-under. Now the under-down leaves the top card alone. It just goes back to its original position. So I demonstrated the under-down once, just to have some symmetry there, right? So the card is still at the top. That's the important thing. And then I turned to the spectator and I said, how many of these under-down shuffles would you like me to perform? Well, of course, these are going to leave the top card at the top. It doesn't matter how many they say. Top card is still at the top. Now, the only place you need to pay attention is when, for the final dealing, you ask the spectator, how many down-unders do you want performed? Now, if they want an even number, like I did in this performance, an even number is going to take the top card, move it to the bottom, and then, like if we do it 2 times, which is what I did in the performance, top card goes to the bottom after the first one, and then it goes back to the top after the second one. So the card of interest is still on top. So there I would reveal the top card. If for whatever reason the spectator asks you to do an odd number of down-unders, so 1, 3, 5, then that means that top card will now be moved to the bottom. Okay, so the down-under performed an odd number of times will move the top card to the bottom. And the only thing you would do differently is instead of revealing the top card like I did, wherever it is now, oh, it's at the bottom. So it would have been here at the very end, right? I would reveal like that. Instead of revealing it at the top, if an odd number of down-unders are performed, you can just say, well, that's really interesting. Just set it on the table and probably get some kind of reaction from the spectator like, okay, what's going on here? And then you can just show them that there's no other cards that are double-backed like that, okay? So however you want to reveal it from the bottom, I think it'd be fine just to say, well, after all of that mixing, no one could possibly know what the top card is, or for that matter, the bottom card. And then just wait for a reaction from them and go from there. So you now know the secrets, and you also now know some principles that you can use to create as many interesting self-working but surprising card effects using some combination of the down-under and the under-down for a packet of 2 to the end cards. So thank you for watching, and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.